Welcome to Big Energy. I'm your host, Kassi Underwood, here to give you a dose of that good energy and talk with people who do it best. Each week, I bring you the knowledge we need to be the forces of nature we came here to be. Hi friends, welcome back to another week of Big Energy. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying the summer. Yesterday was my birthday. I am obviously a Leo. So what I want to talk to you about, even if we are having a great fucking day, it's normal to get triggered. There's no escaping this. Even if you wish you were born in like the caveman days, you would still get triggered. There's going to be bears and lions and whatnot. There's going to be relationships. There's no escaping it. Right now, however, in this time that we live, there are just so many ways that you can get triggered. The fact that your phone is right there, that people could text you at any moment and say something that triggers you, or you could open up your Instagram account and see someone's posted something that set you off or put you in judgment. Because there's so much information being given to us at all times, it's really easy to get triggered. So how do we live in this? And how do we move through this with some level of enlightenment? Because I don't want to deal with mental affliction. I want to be at peace. It feels really good to be blissed out and to be unfuckwithable and to feel calm and to know that everything is okay. But we're all human, so there are things that trigger us on any given day. And what I want to share with you today is a quick way to move through triggers on the go. So this is for an on-the-go shift. Let's say that you wake up in the morning and you forget to meditate, or you didn't forget, but you chose to check your phone first, and there's a text that gets your brain going. You immediately go into anxiety. Oh, I hope I have time to do that. Or gosh, I don't want to do that. I wonder how I'm going to tell them. Or, oh no, this isn't going as easily as I thought. How am I going to handle this? Something unexpected happens, or something costs more than you expected, or your kid yells at you, neighbor does something weird. You're in yoga class and like someone's ass is really nice and you're like, God damn, I wish my ass looked like that. Whatever the trigger is, what I want to talk to you today is how to move past that trigger with ease and with quickness, because we don't always have time to sit down and closely examine our fears, and you need a way to move through it without ruining your day, without being overtaken by it. So obviously the goal is to wake up and meditate and to connect through prayer, or whatever, secular prayer, whatever you want to call it, because that is going to put your whole mindset in a different place. I sound like a broken record on this wake up and meditate, but I am telling you the difference between when I wake up and meditate and pray versus when I don't is dramatic. I'm like a different person when I just, even like kind of sneak a peek at a text message. You can't cheat yourself on this, because you will feel it. Like if you try to sneak something else in, especially if it's technology related, you're going to feel it for the entire day. I can either spend 5 or ideally 20 minutes tuning in before I look at my cell phone, before I engage with family or whatever. I'll give Wallace his breakfast and I'll go do my meditation. Or I can look at my phone, and depending on how much I've loaded into my brain, it's then going to take me an hour or 2 of meditation and prayer to get back to that point that I was at when I had just woken up, fresh brained from 8 hours ideally of sleep. Your brain is fresh when you just wake up from sleeping. So seal that freshness in with a meditation. Now, even if you do all that and you wake up, you do it perfectly, you do your meditation, and then you attack the day and then you go into your day, there's still a good chance that you're human and you're going to get triggered at some point through the day. Like, tell me the last day that you didn't get triggered. If there's not something that externally triggers me, I will trigger myself with my own thoughts. I'm so fucking good at getting triggered that I can trigger myself. How about you? So first, I think for you to understand how to break free of a trigger in the moment, you need to understand what a trigger is. Getting triggered simply means that you have gotten out of the present moment. The present moment is all there is. It's the only thing that's real. If you get triggered, it means that you have had a sudden onset of thoughts connected to that feeling that take you out of the present moment. So you have fear, anxiety, worry, doubt. All those are putting you in the future. So fear is about something that's going to happen that you think might happen in the future or that your body thinks is happening. Or you go into anger, annoyance, resentment. Annoyance sounds like it's no big deal, but it's actually covering fury. So we really like being aware that when we're in that place, we're in the past. Anger is based on the past, something that already happened where we are upset, right? So we're afraid that something that we have already been resentful about is going to happen again. All this means when we're triggered is that we get out of the present moment. We're out of it. We are in that yoga class. We see that fine ass and we're like, oh God, it's going to take me so long to get that. Or I don't even know, is that genetics or did she do some poses? Like that's fear, that's anxiety, that's worry, that's doubt. We're no longer just in our bodies, just really there. And I'm using yoga class because this shit can happen anywhere. You might be doing the most for your state of peace, and yet there you are getting triggered. So you have that sudden onset. Then once we have the sudden onset of a feeling and the related thoughts that bring us out of the present moment, the delusion that we're in that moment is that we think we are separate from other people. We're separate from the universe, from ourself, from God. We feel separated. We feel disconnected. That's why people say, I feel so disconnected. And that's the pain of a trigger. The pain is the disconnection. I feel alone. I feel like I'm different than, I'm better than, I'm worse than, I'm going to be abandoned by, I'm not seen by this person, I'm not understood, I'm not capable. So like we lose sense of our power, our strength, our connection. And so the whole point of the on-the-go shift out of a trigger is to reestablish that feeling of connection. It's up to you what you want to be connected to, whether it's connection with yourself, your truth, your higher power, God. When you're in a trigger, your only job is to reconnect with that source, whatever it is. So here's the step-by-step. Once you get triggered, recognize, okay, I have had a feeling and there are thoughts with it too. Just recognizing I'm triggered, like I'm triggered right now. I'm in fear, anxiety, doubt, anger, worry, whatever it is, resentment, expectation, preconceived resentment. Okay, so we recognize that we're in trigger and then we get into our body, taking like a deep breath, asking, just saying like, please bring me into my body. And taking a deep breath. That's how I do it in the moment. Take that deep breath, and now I'm in my body. And then I will commit to taking 10 minutes to deal with this. Because if I don't deal with this right now, what will happen is for the rest of the day, everything that I experience will be through the filter of fear or anxiety or worry or resentment or I'm not seen, they don't get me, whatever it is, right? So if I deal with this now, I'm going to be free to experience the present moment more fully for the rest of the day. And all that means is I'm going to be more available for bliss. I'm going to be more available for connection. Otherwise, if I don't take 10 minutes to deal with this trigger now, I'm going to be approaching the rest of the day from the place of disconnection. And that's not a winning strategy. So we want to get back into that feeling of connection, commit to the 10 minutes. And then the next for me is I'll just say like a quick prayer or intention. Please give me the willingness to be available to move through this and bring me back to the present moment where all the good shit is. Next, I recognize that I am reacting from an age, not to the person in front of me. So it's almost as if there is no other person. If we're like in bodily trigger, like we feel it in our nervous system, this is not about the person in front of you. This is about something that happened at another time. And I know that I say this all the time. It's just so important to really recognize that So how old does this feeling feel? If you haven't done any therapy, this is going to be like, huh? Like, I remember one time I was in a therapy session and someone said, how old does this feeling feel? And I had never heard this phrase before. So I was like, what are you talking about? It feels like I have it right now. I'm going to jump out of my skin. So if you've never done this work before, it might take you a minute to get to, oh, wow, I remember when I first had this feeling. Wallace just walked in the room. Hey, buddy. So it's okay. Just get as close as you can to when's the first time I had this feeling. Disregard the other person entirely. It's not about them. And then we ask how old it feels, like I said. So then we look at what is the belief that's guiding the feelings right now. Because remember, it's not about this person. So is it like people aren't there for me? People don't understand me. People don't believe me. My needs don't matter. I'm afraid I can't handle it. I'm afraid I can't do it. I'm always going to feel this way about my body, or I'm always going to struggle with this thing. And they're going to find out that I am not as good as they thought I was, or whatever it is. And then after you do that, you ask yourself, is it true? And it's never true. The reason that it's never true is because we create these beliefs when we are really young. Wallace is sitting right here, and I hear him saying, you don't understand me sometimes. And he's nodding his head. And I have a thing with myself where I will think, and I've had this since I was little, people don't understand me. And so I know I'm watching Wallace's beliefs get formed right now. I'm watching him articulate his beliefs. So I know that at some point he will really have to look into people don't understand me for himself and create a new belief. Yeah, he's nodding his head. He will truly have to create a new belief that people do understand me. He'll do that whenever he's ready. It's not my job to figure out. He's nodding again. Yes, he will do that when he's ready. But for right now, knowing how young it is. Wallace is 5.5 years old. And I just started hearing him say, you don't understand me. You don't understand me. And I'm thinking, I'm watching these beliefs get programmed in. And the beauty is you can deprogram them, because that was a big one for me, is like, people just don't understand me. People don't get it. And the beliefs usually go out and they come in. So I was like, you don't get it. And then I would also say, I don't get it. So all that would be coming in and going out. So just know this started really young for you. I'm 39 as of yesterday. Anything I've got going on did not start yesterday. It started when I was probably about Wallace's age. So I find out what's the belief, and then I ask myself, is it true? And like I was saying, it's not true. It's that we created the belief when we were really young, and then we went about looking for evidence of it being true for the next however many years until you consciously decide to undo that belief. So he is creating this belief at 5.5, and he will probably be looking for evidence of that belief that people don't understand him until he decides to consciously undo the belief. In the same way, I made up the same beliefs, and until I consciously decided to undo people don't understand me, it really seemed like it was true. But I had to get committed to, actually, it's not true. Like, this is not true. I made this up when I was really young, and then I went about collecting evidence of it. And that is the same for anything. You get to choose your beliefs about your life, and then you get to go ahead and create evidence and find evidence of your beliefs about life, no matter what. And you're going to find evidence depending on what you believe. So you might as well be really smart about what you choose. So if you're in that moment, you're triggered, what's the belief? Is it true? No. I may have a bunch of evidence for it, but I have just as much power to create evidence for a different belief. After, is it true? This is from my exercise, deprogram yourself. Then once you get that it's not true, what's possible if it's not true? And you want to answer that question until you feel your body change. You're going to feel an actual shift in your body. Your cells will feel different. Then you want to write down, is there anything I need to do that's going to create evidence of my new belief? Do I need to go clear something up? Do I need to remind myself of a truth? Not only when we're triggered, we're just out of the truth. Like we just get disconnected from the truth in that moment. That's really all that's happening. People have different words for the truth, but it's just, what's the truth about this situation? So you're safe. There's nothing that you could need that is not within reach. There's nothing that you could desire that isn't already on the way to you. This is simply the truth. If somebody does something that you don't like, we have a choice, whatever it is for you. And you'll know it's the truth when you feel free. You'll feel it in your body. If you're still feeling trapped, contained, not free, it's probably not the truth. If you're still bummed out, in pain, and there's not some level of ease that comes in once you think this thought, then we're not at the truth yet. Now, obviously, if you're having a nervous system reaction, even when you recognize the truth, you may still feel that physical feeling, but you're going to start to feel some relief. Then if you want, you can do a 1-minute meditation, just breathing consciously, and then finally commit to the present moment. Really commit to that is not occurring right now. What's happening right now is what's exactly in front of me. Then just bring yourself into that present moment. There might be other things that will immediately bring you back to the present moment. There can be concepts that you can remember, and you can write these down on your phone. I have a Course in Miracles on my phone, so I can just open it to the thought for the day. Whatever you need to do to be able to bring yourself back to the present moment as quickly as possible. The idea is to do it in a way that has a level of depth to it. So, it's different than, you're not going to drink a shot. That would be one way to bring yourself back to the present moment. And that's why alcohol really works for some people, is it brings you into the present moment. But you're not drinking a shot. You're doing something with real depth to bring yourself into the present moment. And that's why this 10 minutes, once you're triggered, getting back to your body, back to recognizing that this is not about what's happening right now. It's about a belief. And then committing back to the present moment with whatever tools you can. That's the deal. If you want more of this, I have a program that is really life-changing. The number one thing that people say is that they feel like a different person after they do this program. It's called Practical Spirituality, Attain a Lifetime of Higher Consciousness in 21 Days. It's instant access. It's video content. There's 20 videos. It includes my day-by-day guide to ease, spaciousness, and confidence with my personal spiritual practice. So I'm telling you exactly how I do everything. And obviously those practices are incredibly effective. But it's something that would be really helpful if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, is just to know the overall way that I think. So it brings you into the way that I perceive the world. And obviously I don't see it this way all the time. I fall into my human self, which I love my human self, but I need to also be able to access this whole other way of thinking. And that's what I give you in Practical Spirituality, is this way of thinking that is going to free your mind and make you feel so good. So if you've been kind of haunted by different thoughts or triggers, this is going to shift that for you. You're going to get the practice and you're going to get the thinking that I do. The exact way that I think about problems in my life, the exact way that I think about my body. I don't know why, but a lot of body stuff has been coming up in today's episode. So if that's really speaking to you, then this episode is for you, because I normally don't have that come up a lot. But I talk about how I think about the body in terms of fears around sickness, around, how my body looks and all of that. And lots of other tools and ways of thinking that I think you'll find really supportive to having you feel like a whole new person. So go ahead and check it out. It's kassiunderwood.com/practical spirituality. We will also include the link down below. All right, my loves, have a beautiful week, and please feel free to hit me up on Instagram at Kassi Underwood, or reply to office@kassiunderwood.com if you have anything you'd like to share. I love you, and I will see you next week. That was another episode of Big Energy with me, your host, Kassi Underwood. Were you into it? Go ahead and click the subscribe button and leave a review. You can also find me online at kassiunderwood.com. See you next time.